Hello, class. On the screen, you should see the syllabus for the course, Adolescent Development, Psychology 4300.40. This class will meet the fall of 2025 from August 25th to December 12th. My name is Dr. Lisa Daniel, and I will be your instructor for the course. You will see my instructor information at the top of the page, which will have my email account address as well as phone number should you need to reach me. The best way to contact me would be by email. And you should expect to get a return response within 24 hours on weekdays, barring any unforeseen circumstances or holidays, etc. Your course description is listed, and we will be looking at developmental changes that occur during adolescence. We'll look at things such as physical and physiological growth, intellectual, cognitive, academic, and vocational development, changes in attitude, interest, activities, and also look at the development of interpersonal relationship, among other things. The prerequisites for this class is a C or better in Psychology 1000. The learning objectives are there for you. I'll let you read those on your own. You do have one required text for the course, which is Cuther 2021 Adolescence in Context. There is a revised edition of this course textbook. However, we will use the first edition for the course. This course should be embedded into your learning management software, the LMS, which we use Canvas. So you should be able to access on your navigation pane inside of Canvas. You will also need to access the APA manual, publication manual of the American Psychological Association 7th edition, because you will need this for any time you will have to have a reference or in-text citation, for any source that you use in the class. Specifically, we will use this for our adolescent development paper that you will use, that you will write in the class, as well as any other submission that you use other people's information to write about in the course. The library should have access, a copy of this for you. And that is the required source to look for. There are some shortcuts you will find online that may be pretty helpful, but the only good source you're going to have to note any kind of changes to make an APA format to ensure that you do that correctly is this manual. You are also required to, for one assignment in the course, to have a peer-reviewed journal article that you find that you will use for an assignment in the course. In the course for assessments, you will have 12 examinations. These are all online through the learning management software program Canvas. So you should see those. They're all worth 100 points. All assignments in the course are equally weighted. So exams and other assignments are the same amount of points or percentage for your course. And there will be one assignment, one examination over each chapter. And these, since I have already developed them for this course, they are all multiple choice true false questions. And each of those exams, you'll have an hour and 20 minutes for completion for the first 11. And the last exam, which is your final, you will have 1 hour and 50 minutes to complete that. You're not allowed to work on any exam or assignment in this class with anyone else. So it should be your own work. In the course, you'll have 5 online class discussions, and these are worth 100 points each. And there is information about each one of those in Canvas for you to address each prompt. So for example, you may have 5 different prompts in online discussion 1. So you'll need to make sure that you separate your responses into paragraphs for each one of those parts of the prompt. And then additionally, you'll have to respond to at least one prompt or one post by another peer in the classroom in a meaningful and substantive way. So it shouldn't be nice post or it's good to have you in class. It should be some meaningful conversation that you're conveying to them about their post. Maybe you agreed with something, you want to note that and why you agreed with it. Maybe you disagreed with something they wrote and you want to note that you disagreed with part of their response and why you disagreed with that part of the response. The next assignment you have on your syllabus is the PDF peer-reviewed journal article. So this is just a peer-reviewed journal article that you find and you are planning to use for your paper, your adolescent development paper, which is the next thing we'll discuss. So it needs to be a PDF of this article, not an HTML or copy and pasted or a link to the source, but it needs to be an actual PDF article that you upload into the assignment location for the assignment. And if it is not a PDF article, then or if it's not acceptable for some reason, you will get a response in the assignment area for that. So I do recommend that if you haven't already done so, make sure you turn on your notifications so that when I send you a message inside of Canvas for a course, response to assignment, so forth, that you're alerted of that. If you don't have that turned on, you'll want to make sure that you go back frequently to look for those comments somebody leave on your assignments. So the next is the adolescent development paper. This is a one-page paper about adolescent development. You can write it about any topic that you wish to write it over that has been discussed or referenced in your textbook for the course. So you'll need to use the textbook as a resource for the paper and as a source, and the peer-reviewed journal article that you have selected for the prior assignment as sources and resources for the assignment. And you will have to use references for both of these resources, the textbook and the article, and use in-text citations in the body of the paper. And the paper needs to be completed in APA format. So in regards to the paper itself, you're going to discuss and argue for the importance of the topic you're choosing to write the paper over as the most important topic pertaining to development, specifically regarding adolescence, and why you feel that way. And when I say why you feel that way, not according to you. So you won't be saying, I feel this way because. You'll be using the Cuther 2021 text to note why it's the most important topic pertaining to development and the article that you choose. So it's not your opinion. So you're going to write it in third person, like Cuther 2021 reported that, and you go into whatever, or whatever article you're looking at. Say if it's Daniel 2025, noted that adolescent development is, and then, you know, so you're going to go into using those two sources to support the stance you're taking over the topic for adolescent development you're choosing to write the paper over being the most important and why in the paper. And you will also need to make sure that you use the template that's provided for the assignment and try to get, don't go get somebody's article that they've already chosen. So there shouldn't be, with a topic this large, more than one person using the same article in the class. And of course, there's no way for you to know that. But it's something that I shouldn't see a bunch of people using the same article for the paper. If you're concerned about that, you can definitely send a message. But if it's a concern for me, I will put that in the comments for you. The paper must be no longer than one page, single space, and again, must include APA formatting, in-text citations and reference only for this paper. Typically, references are double-spaced versus single-spaced in APA format. However, for this paper, you can have those single-space. The grading scale is listed on the paper for you. Student support and policies should be found at the link here. You can look at that online. There's also that embedded into Canvas for you on the navigation side as well. Class attendance and absence policy is listed in regards to an online class. When you're not interacting with the class material, when you're not submitting assignments or such, that really indicates that you're not really attending. So make sure that you are frequently going into Canvas, looking at your materials, reviewing materials, completing assignments, and so forth. And you'll see, in addition to the student policies and support link, you'll have a few of those also listed here in the body of the paper. In regards to AI technology, use of AI technology in this class is prohibited in its entirety. So you're not permitted to use any advanced automated artificial intelligence or machine learning tools on any assignments in this course. And you're expected to complete each assignments without assistance from others, including automated tools, AI, and so forth. Your work should be your own, should not be plagiarized. You should have sources adequately cited and referenced, and you cannot use any work that you've submitted for any other class in this class either. Other information is here for you, duty to report and so forth. If there are any changes to the syllabus, you'll be notified of that as soon as they are they're made. There's student resources listed there for you on the page. And of course, you will need to be able to access Canvas via the internet, and you'll probably need to write your paper in Word format and have access to other information that may not be something you can access through a smartphone or a tablet at times for all course functions. In regards to classroom behavior and any other special policies, be sure that you send your emails to me from your university email account with the course section number and your complete name as is on the roster. And typically, like I said earlier, I will respond within 24 hours. Most often, and even usually on the weekend or holidays, I try to check mail as well, but it's not always guaranteed. My internet does not work very well at my home that I am currently living at. So I have to usually go into town to get messages and access. So sometimes that will be limited on the Saturday and Sunday or holidays. So we had already kind of talked about making sure that your work is submitted, it's only your work, that you're not also submitting any work you've already submitted for any other class in the past. If you have any questions or concerns at any point during the semester, be sure to ask those as soon as those questions come up, so we can figure out what needs to be done and get the help that you might need or your questions answered. So if there's any problem or concern you have, be sure to bring that up immediately when that problem or concern arises. So the syllabus is an outline of the course. We will provide information through Canvas, email, announcements, so forth. And the syllabus is subject to change, and you'll be notified of that if that does occur. We do want to have professional interactions and discussions in the class. Your behavior shouldn't interfere with my ability to teach or for other persons' ability to learn in the class or yourself. You can see rubrics for assignments, directions, and so forth will be noted typically on the Canvas assignments, but also through email or other discussions in class about expectations, requirements for grading, and so forth. If you do not complete your assignments or your exams, you'll be given a 0. And I do not give incompletes in the class unless there is a significant reason for doing so with acceptable documentation that has been provided. Information in the syllabus or in the class, instructional material, lectures, anything that you may access in this course, my presentations or PowerPoints or so forth are not to be reproduced outside of the class without, excuse me, without my written permission and consent for that. And you're prohibited from selling or being paid for taking notes or completing assignments, exams for others or by others for yourself. And again, you're not allowed to work on any exam or assignment together. Should be your own work. You are required to read and understand details in the syllabus, in the course, and on Canvas. If you have any questions, make sure you bring those to my attention as soon as those come up. And if there's ever any time where any portion of the syllabus is in conflict with the University of Wyoming rules, regulations, state or federal laws, or if I need to change it for some other reason, then you will be notified of those changes as they occur. In psychology classes, and this one is pretty much the same, there could be the potential of having discussions or lectures, assignments and assessments, videos, etc., that may include information that may be considered by some to be sensitive, dark, deep, controversial, traumatic, triggering, activating, and so forth. We may cover, and we will likely do so in this course, topics such as suicide, self-injurious behavior, abuse, disabilities disorders, and the like. And so when we think about that, as well as sometimes I may use a professional or personal experience or an example, that's usually going to be something that I'm going to be able to use to somehow enhance maybe your learning, understanding, or memory of a concept. But if those topics that we kind of have reviewed so far, you feel that at any point may hinder your own personal well-being, then you definitely need to consider if this is class that is one that you should be in, or look into any of the services the university provides or others for any kind of assistance that you might need. Now, although I do have professional licenses in the area of mental health, I am not going to give any personal professional examples or stories that will be provided to you as medical or mental health advice. They are just for learning opportunities. And if you tend to need some sort of medical or mental health support or evaluation, then you need to seek that out for the university or other means like 911 or 988 for those resources if you should need those. The last page in the syllabus has the calendar that's tentative. And so what you'll see is that we have the modules and the weeks on the left-hand side. The topics are in the middle column, and the right-hand side is more about like what we're going to be doing. And typically, unless I've made a mistake, you're going to see the bold items will be assignments that are graded that you need to be turned in. So you have the week 1 listed there, for example, and we're going to go over the syllabus and the introduction. And we're going to have, look at the contents, preface about the author, and then looking at what we're doing right now, the syllabus introduction, how to be successful in the class, which basically if you do your work, turn it in and you read the information, then you should be prepared for taking the test and doing the assignments and doing well on them. You should be able to get the grade that you want in this class, and that's based on if you're reading the information, you're following along, you're doing the assignments, turning them in by the deadlines, then you should make a really good grade in this class. So it's expected that you do put forth your effort to do so in the class. I will show you in another video in the class about how to search for the peer-reviewed article, just in case you have a question about that. So it'll be in another video. You'll see on here on the right-hand side the online class discussion 1 due, as well as a PDF of peer-reviewed article due. So those 2 assignments are due week 1. So you'll go into week 2. And then you'll notice that we are closed as a university on Monday, September 1st, which is the Labor Day holiday. And then you'll see where we have Adolescence in Context, Chapter 1, Introduction to Adolescent Development. So it'll be the first chapter that we will read. And then that week, which is week 2, you will have your online exam 1. So you'll see going forward, the same kind of format. We'll go into week 3, you'll have chapter 2, and you'll have exam 2. Week 4, and so forth. And so you'll see on week 4, you have online class discussion 2 and online exam 3. Week 5, online exam 4. Week 6, online exam 5. Week 7, online exam 6 and online class discussion 3. You'll have your semester break on Monday, October 13th. In week 8. Also in week 8, you will have your online exam 7. Week 9, you'll have online exam 8 and your online class discussion 4. Grades should be due and submitted by noon on Thursday, October 23rd. Week 10, you will see online exam 9 and the adolescent development paper will be due that day. I'm sorry, by the end of that week. Week 11, you will notice that we will have our online exam 10 due. And then Friday, November 7th is the last day withdrawal from this course or the other courses at the university. If you get to the point to where you're not liking the grade in the class, definitely reach out to me to see if there's anything you can do in the class to get the grade that you need or that you want. And we can see if we can come up with a plan for your success. Hopefully earlier in the semester, if that happens, the better that you reach out, but never assume that you should automatically drop the class or withdraw. Be sure to just always email me to ask to see how you might get a better grade in the class or to get things caught up if that's possible. And we'll discuss that on a case-by-case individual basis per student. So week 12, online exam 11, week 13, online class discussion 5. And then week 14 is just kind of, it's a shorter week. So you have your Thanksgiving break that week. And I'm just kind of indicating here, make sure you have everything turned in, that all your exams are completed. And if you have any questions about missing or late work, definitely reach out at any time during the semester earlier. But if you have it by this point and you're concerned, definitely reach out at that point as well. And then week 15, we're going to spend, hopefully, with you reviewing for your final exam on your own. And then Friday, December 5th is the last day for the fall classes. Week 16 is our final exam week, and your online final exam 12 will be due by 5 p.m. on December 12th. It can always be done earlier than that. Do make note that the online exam 12, the final exam, is due by 5 p.m. All the rest of them are due by 11:59 p.m. during the semester. So at this point, we'll be at the point of the end of the semester, and I'll be so proud of you for all your work that you've done and your hard work in the class, and all those that you will be graduating. I'll be saying, congratulations to y'all as well.